Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining the Lioness Den again. Can you believe it? It's been another year, and we're here. It's December all over again. And as usual, we're going to have a mental health moment because this time of year around the holidays, it can be very stressful and emotional for a lot of people. But we have come to just share some tips and some stories, maybe and some advice on how to get through the holidays. So I ask that you sit back, grab your pens and your paper, even your family right now, because this holiday is different from the holidays we've had for the past couple of years. So sit back, relax, comment, share, like, subscribe as we go into the Lion's Den. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Linus Den. We are so glad you chose to join us. Look, this is our Christmas special, and without further ado, we're going to introduce our panel. Let's go. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
So, this is Saturday morning, and I want to say good morning to everyone who has made this choice to join us on today. Look, we're going to start with introducing the panel. So, let's start with Miss Tammy Saunders, and we'll go around to Miss Adrienne Holloman and end up with Miss LaDon Bridges. Tammy, it's on you.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Tammy Saunders, Nurse Tammy R on IG, Tammy R Saunders on Facebook. I am a licensed practical nurse. I am also kind of I counsel families when they have to make big decisions concerning family members, medical family members, and so forth. And I am so pleased to be here tonight, and I am an ordained minister.
Hi, everyone. I am Adrienne Holloman. I am a life coach, a speaker, and an author. On Instagram, I am DT Dream Coach. I am Discovering Treasures or Discovering Your Treasures on Facebook. And my goal is to see women win. I want to take them from having the dream in their head to producing it in their life, manifesting it in their life, so that it produces income and they can generate wealth and leave a legacy. A mouthful, but that's who I am. Glad to be here.
Hi, everyone. I'm LaDon Bridges, and I am a licensed clinical social worker by trade, but I'm also a mental health coach. So I help people discover who you are in your higher self, who you want to be, and the things that are holding you back. And we kind of take a look at all of that and see if we can reach your higher self, and I help you get there.
So, as we get into this conversation about Christmas, I'm happy to have you all here so that we can really discuss and dig into the emotions and the stressors that people have going through this season. Um, One of the major things that I think we should dive into first is that this is really the first time that we're moving into a season where we can gather freely.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last couple of years, COVID has taken so many from us, and we weren't able to gather freely. So the table this year could possibly look like I haven't seen everybody in 2 years, and there's people missing.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I handle? Because this is the first time I'm really getting the chance to grieve those whom I lost over the past 2 years, and it's during the holiday. Let's touch on that first. Let's talk about what we can do going through this season with that type of stress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, with the pandemic, um, let's start 2019. It kind of touched a little bit, but the Christmas of 2020 and the Christmas of 2021, those were two quote unquote shutdown years. And 2020 taught us don't do the same thing in 21 because some people gathered anyway, and you had another resurgence of the disease of COVID, and so you learned for 2021 not to do that. Okay, but now here we are, 2022, and essentially the world is opened again, and you would expect families to suddenly converge, there are a couple of things that are going on. Yes, we have fewer people around the table because um, of losses, but then you don't have people around the table because we got comfortable being away from each other.
Mhm.
That we,
Mm.
as we didn't have to walk into that pressure thunder zone that sometimes the Christmas and Thanksgiving, Christmas season, New Year season can bring. And so for some people, it was the horror of the table not being as full as it used to, and then for some it was a wonderful sigh of relief that they won't have to deal with some of those I dare say dysfunctional changes that can come back to a table. Sometimes they're even to the point of being toxic. For me personally, this time last year, I was preparing a sermon for one of my sister friends' funeral. And so it was horrible for me, just the horror of it. But I am living proof of the grace of God, because I'm living proof that His grace is absolutely sufficient, because I can still function. Yes, you have your moments, but one of the big deals that I've learned to do is to go ahead and face that thing.
Mhm.
Don't keep trying to suppress that thing, because when she blows up on people that you really didn't intend for it to.
Yeah.
But face the fact that there's a twofold thing going on here. There could be losses that make the table a little less crowded. There could be the mere fact that I got used to being without you that makes
Mhm.
the table less crowded. But learn how to face it either way. No matter which way it is, learn how to face it.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Tammy, I don't think it's fair you should be talking to me about me like that, because because I'm quite comfortable without attending all the functions.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
And
And that's
so
true.
Mhm.
That's
I'm
And,
one of
true.
and
those
That's
people
true.
that's like, okay, you got to go now. You got to get out of the house. And it's
Okay.
very interesting because I've had, prior to COVID, I had a New Year's brunch, and it was an annual event. So I had it for 30 something years. And so I was thinking this year, am I going to have it? Because I didn't have it the other two. Now I probably could have it this year, but I'm going to take a third year off, right?
mhm, 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 mhm,
And I was thinking maybe I could still invite a couple of friends over for something small. And I'm like, nah.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so the challenge becomes it reintegrating myself into my regular routine that involves people.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm.
That involves people.
Yes. Mhm, mhm.
See, that's the story of an introvert who's also an extrovert because they're a coach. So I have to be an extrovert in interacting, and I love folks, but my energy comes from being by myself.
Mhm,
Oh,
Wow. I
mhm,
knew you were an introvert because your smile is always so present, and you
yes,
seem so present.
mhm.
absolutely.
I I I might have guessed it, but I wouldn't have known it just by looking at you.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. One of the fabulous things you said about that, Tammy, is people don't even know that they have gotten unused to being around their family. They don't pay attention to it until it's presented. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, ugh, I don't have to be around these people if I don't want to right
Right.
now.
Hmm.
Whereas before COVID, it was a tradition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's something we did.
Yep.
So
Right.
when it stopped, it's like, oh, I
Hmm.
get to be individualized for the
Yep.
holidays. What does this feel like? I don't have to cook for everybody. I don't have to clean for
Ooh.
everybody. I can just make a sandwich. And
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people, there's a sense of freedom
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
also while mourning the time that they don't have with the family.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
Mhm, mhm,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
I can actually relate to that because this was the first Thanksgiving that I didn't go home.
mhm,
So I always go
mhm,
home every year, and this was the first one. Now, don't let me act like I didn't enjoy Thanksgiving. It was probably one of the quietest, most peaceful Thanksgivings I've ever had. I am one of eight.
mhm,
Wow.
I am one of eight. And so being one of eight and having siblings who have children,
Mm-hmm.
and they have significant others, one of
Mm-hmm.
8 can turn into one of 16 so quickly.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
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 Okay, so you think about that's just my immediate family, and then when you
Right.
get cousins and cousins and cousins and their kids,
Right.
Mhm.
you can get to 20 and 30 in no time.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
us being the 2 this year
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
was very quiet. And
Mhm.
so, but Dawn, I don't have the cooking and cleaning problem anyway. Thank you, Jesus. That's never been my issue. I bless the Lord. Um, I've never had to cook much, and I definitely don't have to clean any house because I'm usually at someone else's, and so I
Yeah.
get to just kind of enjoy the holiday. I make one dish, and
Mhm.
I enjoy the rest of the holiday. But the 8 children, eight kids, 8 immediate. If you can imagine, all of that talking, and
Mhm.
you're not watching TV, because I am a TV connoisseur.
Mhm.
So you're not watching TV, something that you kind of love to do, and you're not reading a book, something that you also like to do, but you're listening to the conversations on both sides. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so as much as I am looking forward to Christmas, I'm like, prepare yourself.
Mhm.
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 Prepare yourself for the hustle and the bustle.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Prepare yourself for the constant conversation, because we are talkers.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
say we because I'm a talker too. You guys know me.
Mhm.
We are talkers. And
Mhm.
so imagine 8 of me.
Mhm.
That's a lot of talking going on around one table. So yes, you love it, but you kind of grieve the whole thing of there was no bunch of talking. I
Mhm.
did get to see all the movies, but it would have been nice to talk to everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and do I exchange one for the other? And should I feel guilty for enjoying my quietness?
Right.
Because that's one of the things that we haven't talked about a lot of times, is the guilt that comes along when I've accepted that I enjoyed my holiday better by myself than I did when I had a multitude of people around.
But
So
this,
This.
I
is
think
that
that
your guilt, or is that somebody else's guilt saying you should have been there?
right.
I don't know. I think it's my guilt because I no one else is saying
Yeah.
it to me. So I think most of the time it's in our own heads. Because if no one else says anything to you about, why didn't you show up, then that guilt, I think, is coming from inside of me.
Okay.
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't think
let's
it's necessarily another person.
from called self love,
Mhm.
and self love also includes forgiving yourself.
Mhm.
Self love also includes setting healthy boundaries.
Mhm.
Self love also includes taking the pressure
Mhm.
off of yourself to perform,
Mhm.
because a lot of times the freedom comes from the fact that you're not judged by what you didn't do and what you didn't do. And for me, that's been wonderful to love Tammy enough to keep the pressure off, because at the ripe old age of 61 years old, I learned how to speak up for myself with siblings and
Mhm.
stand my ground. And I
Mhm.
felt okay, and I wasn't snide, I wasn't mean, I wasn't off, I mean, whatever. But I took care of me, and I still can hug and kiss them, and I can still talk to them on the phone and stuff like that, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
This whole process opens up the dialogue for the family. To be honest, hey,
Mhm.
how do we want to do it differently? Although we've been doing it this way for all of our lives, we see now there's an opportunity to change a narrative to where you can spend time with your significant other, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
maybe you can go to the beach or whatever you want to do for the holidays, but we can come together on some time that's not the holiday. Maybe
Mhm.
that's some time that's conducive for everybody. It
Mhm.
opens up the dialogue for different possibilities. And also, we have to be careful that we're not processing the perception of
Mhm.
others' opinion.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes we think people care, and really, they
They
could
ain't.
care less.
Hmm.
They like, yes, girl, she called. Yes, yes, because they didn't want to be the one to do it, right? So
Mhm.
we're opening up a brand new dialogue amongst our families to say, hey, how can we do this thing called the holidays differently?
Mhm.
I was also thinking that it's a matter of what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
And what
Yeah.
you want, whether everybody else thinks it's wonderful or not, is
Mm-hmm.
wonderful for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so valuing yourself to say, hey, I kind of like this. I'm going to do this again. I don't know if I'm going to do it next Thanksgiving or I'm going to do it Christmas, but it's
Right.
okay because this is what, what fueled me. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed myself. I don't always have to do it that way. And when you just said, LaDonna, when you just said the expectations, I thought about my children. They have made it a point. Now they're grown, they're 34 and 29, but other than maybe one or two New Year's, they have been there every New Year's Day, and they feel obligated to be there because it's mom's annual event.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to give them liberty. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be there, you don't have to
Right.
be there. Go do New York or whatever you were going to do for New
Mm-hmm.
Year's.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's going to be fine,
Mm-hmm.
but our expectation is like, well, it's my annual event. Y'all supposed to be here. You're supposed to support me.
Mm-hmm.
No, give them grace. Let them live.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Can we flip
And that is,
that?
go ahead, go ahead.
Sometimes with these huge family gatherings, a couple of things that I like to throw in there. A lot of times when you come from a big family, you're one of 8, Lydia. A lot of times we're gonna meet with our siblings and whatnot, no matter what our significant others or our plus
Mm-hmm.
one would do. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to be over my family's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that you switch it around a little bit, now this year you might get to go to your significant others' houses.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, and this is a stretch, but sometimes you have caregivers who have been caring for family all year long.
Mm-hmm.
They may be just looking forward to having someone else for mama to talk to. Good God of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been the only one to hear the same story, that same conundrum, that same hamster wheel. And finally, they'll have grandchildren and great grandchildren, somebody else to wear them out so that by the time I bathe her down and put her in the bed, she's gonna stay down.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many little teeny tiny moving pieces that we might need to also think about and address. That's where, like LaShawn said, have the family conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What works this year? Maybe we'll do Christmas and New Year's, and next year we'll do Thanksgiving and
Mm-hmm.
and Christmas or something, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, because when that person that's being cared for isn't there anymore, you're gonna feel kind of crazy when
Mm-hmm.
I did have the chance to talk to her, but I didn't take it. Or I did. I remember the last thing she said. I know she was telling me the same story about her and Uncle Marvin, and but you have that.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the creating memories part,
Mm-hmm.
about stuff like that. So there's a lot that goes in the salad of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think it was my brother who said this year, and he's done it for the last few years. What he does is spend half the time with us, and then they split time and go spend with his wife's family.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm.
That way they get to cover both houses. And then this Thanksgiving they did something different because we didn't gather as we usually
Uh-huh.
did. So this year they did what I call house hopping.
Mm-hmm.
They visited different friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they went, and so he said they really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
They got to visit different people's Thanksgiving dinners or whatever and visit different friends. And so I thought that was kind of cool too, because it gave them the chance, something that they really haven't done a lot on the holidays is get the chance to visit because, we do Thanksgiving and we do Christmas. So where do you get the time to visit everyone else? So
Mm-hmm.
that was nice too. I mean, it's just maybe a new tradition, that could be started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Anybody else?
The I was just thinking about the people like getting back together. We haven't tapped on the ones that we've lost during this COVID period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are now rejoining in a system. And now auntie is not here, or cousin is not here, or uncle is not here.
Right.
One of the things that I've told a couple of my clients is make them be present. Set them a table if they need. Set
Come
them
on.
a table. Make sure they're present and that they're there in spirit, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people, they don't understand that if you can answer a question, like if I ask you, what would Big Mama say if I said this? If you can answer that question, she's still present.
Still there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
good.
a lot of times, if we just allow the flow, if everybody just want to get together, say, "Well, Big Mama, we miss you, we love you." Everybody want to shed a tear. That could be a closing moment
Right.
for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
family
Very.
members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that idea. I love that. I love that because we do miss people from like the table, and that first holiday after they're gone
Mm.
can be draped,
Mm-hmm.
with grief. It can be
Mm-hmm.
draped with grief. For and I do this a lot, guys. So if I'm talking too much, just break in. You know me. But for my family, my mom was buried 3 days after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And so she died on the 19th and was buried on the 28th because of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So around Christmas, we always
Mm.
reflect,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
because she died just before Christmas. We buried her on my sister's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a heavy time if
Mm-hmm.
we don't make it a happy time.
Mm-hmm.
It can
Right.
be a heavy time because you think about it, this is the season where we lost someone,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and we lost them right in the middle of the season. So
Right.
you could have that story, or you could have the story of, last year COVID took somebody away right during the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So both of those situations are heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so with what LaDon said, it gives you the opportunity, to tell
Mm-hmm.
the story that's still there. It gives you that opportunity. That was great. Thank you, LaDon.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome.
I think about one of the things I did this year. So my mom's story was similar to yours, Lydia. My mom passed on June 21st, and her birthday was June 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always around Father's Day. We were trying to figure out, we lost my dad like 8 months before, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to get through that first Father's Day without him. And
Oh,
she died on Father's Day.
oh
Mm-hmm.
God.
And so one of the things that I did this year, because the first 2 years, it's been about 7 years, but one of the things, we used to go out every Father's Day, me and my children, and that was how we celebrated,
Mm-hmm.
to keep her present, and
Mm-hmm.
basically both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I did this year is kind of change the meaning of the 21st,
Mm-hmm.
so that as I'm moving up, because we know when we're moving up to that date, there's a heaviness that comes,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right? And sometimes we'll replay the incidents that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, okay, I need to change the meaning of this day. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I wrote my children's book and had it released around the 21st.
Oh, yes.
So
Very
I
good.
changed the meaning of the 21st. And
Mm-hmm.
then my granddaughter, my second granddaughter, she was due in July. She was born the 22nd.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
So
job.
now the 21st has a totally different meaning for us.
yeah.
That is
So
good.
whenever you can, make it another milestone, make it a pleasant milestone. Just change the meaning of it so that that dread does not come in, does not
Yes.
settle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise
Definitely.
it rob you
Mm-hmm.
It
of
robs you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
really enjoying that time and that space.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And if you combine the holiday with the loss,
Mm-hmm.
the stressors of trying to live up to sometimes family,
Mm-hmm.
and then the stressors of trying to make sure that you gave out gifts, because we're in a time now where you still have people recovering from not having a job.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Mm-hmm.
you have the family stress already of trying to live up. You have the loss maybe going on, and now as I'm trying to get back on my feet, I gotta get gifts for everybody because we coming together again. Like last year, if I didn't get a gift, didn't really notice it because wasn't nobody around.
Right.
This year, everybody's around maybe, and the gift
Mm-hmm.
giving is a little different. And so I'm stressed because I want to make sure that I come back through real strong the way I used to before the pandemic. And I
Wow.
ain't feeling as strong financially, and I'm not feeling as strong emotionally as I did before the pandemic. So now I'm really in a conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
let's recognize the fact that this is a whole different world now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as back to normal. There's the pre-pandemic world, the 2019 world, and before that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone forever. Just like 9/11, that world is gone
Mm-hmm.
forever around the world. the pandemic around the it's gone. And uh, we I was just praying with another friend of mine. We were praying for children because now they are all stuck to their own devices, and that's what they want. They want another device. They want another piece of technology, and it's really weird because you can give stuff without leaving your home.
Mhm.
And as far as the money is concerned, that you that is a conversation in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have it with yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I discuss with people is the ability to get creative with their skills.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, make some candy, put it in a nice little box, right? Now, the person may or may not eat it, but they will recognize the effort you took,
Mhm.
right? Put some old clothes together and make a quilt, sew it together. Hey, I ain't had nothing to give. People can get creative if they stop looking at the negative,
Okay.
Mhm.
right? If they stop looking at what I ain't got and look at what I have to offer for Christmas. It does not have to be a monetarily gift. It can be a love letter, or what you've done for me.
That I love.
Mhm.
I look up to you letter, right?
Mhm.
That you wrap and put in something special. The
Mhm.
most beautiful gifts are the ones from the heart. Because if any of y'all, all of us know, we would have bought our children and our people the latest gadget and that mug on the floor
Mhm.
2 days
Christmas
Mhm.
Day.
later. Get Christmas Day, you know. But if you make some pecans, some candy pecans or whatever, they may or may not eat it, but they will recognize there's some effort given.
Chocolate chip cookies,
Yes.
homemade stuff.
Yes. You don't
A
have
lot
to.
of it is the expectations we put on ourselves. Just
Yes.
think about the number of gifts that you get that somebody spent money for that you never use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
So we go through all that to buy all these things that many people are not going to use
Mm-hmm.
when we don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have we do with what's in our means, within our ability to do. And that's what we do. And we just do it well. And we do it from the heart. And that's what matters, because we'll spend, or people will spend all of that money, go into debt and be mad and
Mm-hmm.
sad in January, February, and March because they can't pay their rent,
Oh,
or
Mm-hmm.
they
God.
can't pay their mortgages, or they're behind. So you've
Mm-hmm.
just added another level of stress that you didn't have to.
And if you have a big family, there is nothing wrong with saying everybody got a $10 limit or a $5 limit. There is
People draw,
nothing
some
wrong.
families just draw
Yeah.
names. They
Yes.
draw names so
Yes.
Right.
that they're not getting gifts for everybody.
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Yes.
That's what we did this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey
Mm-hmm.
guys, look, somebody put me on to drawernames.com. So your
Mm-hmm.
Secret Santa is automated. All you do is put everybody's name in, and they
Mm-hmm.
go in and hit the button and
Wow.
say draw a name. And it's a little spinner, and it spins it, and it says, this is who you have, this is your Secret Santa. And it
Mm-hmm.
I
even gives a little wish list and a little, you can put a price, $10.
Yep.
Gives a
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
little wish list. It shows
Mm-hmm.
the whole list. You claim something off that list. You don't have to leave your house. You order it and can send it to them without ever going to see.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen, just so y'all know.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to throw out the fact that I don't know about y'all, but when I was young, in my younger days, when I ain't have a lot of guap, I sure went to the churches and
Uh huh.
to the community
Uh
organizations
huh.
to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I need a little help.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of the organizations start taking names about maybe October, November, October here in North Carolina, but um, churches, this is where community come in.
Yes,
This is
absolutely.
this is where we tap into our tribe
Mm-hmm.
and not be
Mhm.
ashamed of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is where we do take up a special $5 collection and say, "Hey, we're trying to help others that can't help themselves."
Mm-hmm.
It's all about community. I
Right.
Yep.
think in this time, and even with the ones that don't have, they're usually the ones who bless others more.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay
Great.
attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They do. They find a way.
Yeah.
I always use an example of one of my little god sisters
Hmm.
was on social service But when any of her friends had baby showers, they would come with strollers and high chairs and all of this stuff. And baby showers for the middle class, people come with bibs and a tub.
That's true.
Plastic bottles,
Those
Adrian.
social
Plastic
service,
bottles.
they come up with all the big stuff so that you don't need anything.
Yep. Yep. That is very true. It's very true. I actually had a girlfriend who used to make diaper gift sets. Because you can't afford a lot, but you get the diapers and make them into a little basket. And just she had this way of making them into a basket and tying a ribbon around it. So you got a little gift, and you might have a rubber ducky in the middle or something, but you had or some little washcloths. It's not very expensive, but you've just given out a great gift that's going to last that person. So yeah, it's where there's a will, there's a way sometimes for stuff that we don't even think about.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, ladies, because this has been good. Y'all wouldn't believe we're already 35 minutes in, actually.
Really?
When you're having a conversation like this, it always seems to go so quickly. It's amazing to me. It amazes me every time we do this. Let's we've talked about dealing with your feelings during a holiday, and dealing with a bunch of other things. What would you say to that mother who's overwhelmed right now? It's the holiday season, and she may be just overwhelmed because she just got a bunch of kids, and she's trying to get it all together for this bunch of kids that she has. And when I say a bunch, it might be 3, it might be 5, it might be 2. It could, let me tell you, some people with 1 kid, they're overwhelmed. So let's be honest. So what do you say to them right now? Because it's not necessarily that they don't have the money. It's just, it's been a whole year, and I've had these kids the whole year by myself. And I just need a break. What do you say to that woman? Because it's Christmas, and she doesn't want to feel like her kids are a burden.
Well, I'm gonna take it from a mental health perspective.
Yes,
what I
ma'am.
would say from a mental health perspective. I would then try to discover why. Why are you so down? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your vision of providing your kids for a great Christmas? Because I would probably point out that her vision of Christmas and their vision of Christmas is 2 different visions. It makes sense. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Tupac's song and he says, "Dear Mama," he said, Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. For a lot of mothers, we think that shoes and toys and electronics is what the kids want. When 9 times out of 10, they just want to see Mama happy. Because if Mama happy, all of us can be happy.
Else.
Wow.
Right.
So if we can find a way if Mom can say, you know what, bump all this stress, let's get this Monopoly game going. Let's just have a good time. Let's get some charades going. If your children can see you happy, the rest is going to fall in place.
Yes.
And for the rest of the viewing audience, she might say, "Let's get this spades game going," because we talked about that last month.
Mac talking.
Yes. Don't be mad.
I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share that because I don't want y'all to forget that we play spades in this house.
But it's something like what Tammy said earlier, of creating the memories. And so whether it is the spades or the Monopoly or a dollar gingerbread house from the Dollar Tree, or just something like that where you're baking cookies, even if you're not doing them from scratch, if you get a roll of Pillsbury cookies and cut them and then smell up the house with them and then play the games, have the games going, that's the stuff that they'll remember. They're not going to remember the toys. They're going to remember the fun times that they had. Remember when we used to do so and so and so and so? That's what they'll remember. So the additional stress, and even when you do that, that even lowers your stress level because you're not up in the doing. You're just being. Because there's always more energy in the doing than when you just, okay, let's do this. Let's just be.
If you have people who are like LaShawn, not just professionals, but even, people that are right alongside you, find out where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what you can do to ease the load up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get 4 families and
Mm-hmm.
each family take one of her kids
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
buy or take out or do clothes for or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
identify her tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Identify that,
Mm-hmm.
so that like you said, she doesn't feel like that they are a bother. But also, I mean, I am huge on, I know we're gonna take care of the kids, but let somebody single out mama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Single out stuff that makes her feel like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Her $50 Victoria's Secret card. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Get some nice little under things that don't nobody else know about, just her. That make
Mm-hmm.
her feel like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
um, there are um, there are so many things that we have to tap into, that it's not such a big. One of the things that I've tapped into over the last couple of years is to speak to the little girl in me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when I speak to her, I talk to her differently. I talk to her more kindly. I talk to her gently. And there are little things that make her feel good, like a hot drink. I love a hot drink because I used to love to watch my mother drink coffee like, because it was so hot. And I always felt so grown up when I had a hot drink that was, it wasn't such a big deal. But if I could sit, and I taught my girls how to do that,
Mm-hmm.
even though I told them that you shouldn't slurp and sip and whatever, but it would be fun. Just stuff like that, that my kids now, who are adults, and I have a grandchild with them, and they bring it, Mom, do you remember when we used to do the pinky and the sip, kind of. But the thing is to tap into who they really are, because when you heal the little girl, the woman arises.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Heal the boy, the man comes forth. And
Yes.
Yes.
those are things that, there are stuff that go all the way back to the childhood, and you'd be surprised how holidays can really, uh,
Trigger.
what did Biggie say? Birthdays was the worst day,
First days.
and sometimes they were, uh, where it's like you should have been happy. Your mother was pulling you up to the side, baby. I really couldn't get you, blah blah blah, whatever. But I would kind of make it a big deal to take my children out one by one. All right,
Mm-hmm.
see you by yourself. What do I do? Nothing. I just want to go out and have some ice cream. I mean, just stuff. But just learn where she is. Learn why the situation is like that. And if you or a group that you're attached to, it doesn't have to be just your church. It could be your social group. It could be your work group. It could be whatever. But that could kind of wrap around these people. Okay? Because guess what it all boils down to? Kindness.
Yes.
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 Imagine
Yes.
that. Be
Yes.
kind to each other again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A great gift is, I will tell you, I know a lot of single mothers. Take the kids for a night.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Now she
take
got
the
to
Mm-hmm.
trust
kids.
you. She got to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. If she trusts you now, a lot of mothers ain't gonna let their kids go with just anybody. But you're her
Got to
friend.
say that.
You're her
Yes.
confidant. Say,
Yep.
let me take the kids for a
Yep.
night, and you just get yourself a bubble bath or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
While we're talking about this, that's a good, inexpensive gift.
Yes, it is.
I
Yeah.
took the kids to my house, I fed them a meal, and gave you a night to yourself.
And
Mm-hmm.
don't stay home cleaning.
Right.
And
Unless,
mothers do not stay home cleaning. Mothers
okay,
don't do
unless
that.
that's your thing. And some
Mm-hmm.
people, cleaning is their thing. To be
Mm-hmm.
able to clean without nobody asking them for nothing. And they like the whole thought of a clean house, and they like the thought of making it clean. But don't stay home cleaning. Take yourself out, go for a walk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do something for you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Ladies, we take the most on ourselves a lot of
Mhm.
times when we're moms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even when we're which Miss Ladon has said a bunch of times when I've talked to her in different other forms and capacity. We if we're big sisters,
Mm-hmm.
the oldest in the family,
Mm-hmm.
moms, grandmoms, we carry the weight on ourselves.
Mhm.
But this is a season where we could really if we let our hair down and just live and breathe.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
If we took that time, a lot of us get that time off from Christmas to New Year's. Just breathe.
Mhm.
Take that moment to say,
Mm,
um, at the beginning of the Life Happens keynote,
mm,
she said, breathe in and breathe out and close your eyes and feel all the way down to your toes.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Try
Mhm.
a moment of meditation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
feel you during this season. I'm taking her words, even though she's sitting right here. I'm taking her words.
Each
She'll
one,
start her words right now.
each one, I love it.
But for real, guys, it's something that we don't do. We're not self aware.
Mhm.
And sometimes because we're not self aware, our stress levels go out the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from my experience, because I know a lot of times a lot of people think, I don't know why they think it. You don't seem to be stressed at all. Trust me, I am. But sometimes sitting there in that moment when you first wake up in the morning and
Mhm.
you turn on some music.
Mhm.
So I find that when I wake up at 5:30,
Mhm.
and if I turn on some worship music at 5:30 in the morning, because I don't have to really be up until 6,
Mm-hmm.
and don't get up. Don't get out the bed. Just stay in the bed
Mhm.
and listen to the music and let it wash over you. What a stress reliever that has been for me. It makes my day better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
work out. Maybe get up and work out. It
Mm-hmm.
makes my day better. It makes my day better. So, in a little pivot here, what do you guys find as things to do that helps you to relieve those everyday stressors that we could do while we're out on this Christmas to New Year's break? Because the kids are going to be out. If you work in a field like mine, you're off work. I'm off from the 22nd all the way through to the New Year.
Oh,
What are
that's
some of those
nice.
things while we have these days off that we can just help us to release? Anybody can start.
Mm.
One of the things that I always recommend, no matter what season it is, but definitely this season, is to write.
Mhm.
Okay.
Writing is very, if you have the ability. Some people don't like to write, but writing is so cathartic because sometimes you can think a million thoughts.
Mhm.
Today I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that, and by the time you wake up, 30 minutes later, you've thought a million thoughts. But
Mm-hmm.
if you write down your goals for the day, you strategically plan out your day in a
Mm-hmm.
way that reduces stress.
Mhm.
Makes sense. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I would say to start, and for me, I have to remind myself to do this. I don't deserve my own self abuse. So when I start getting in
Mm.
my own head about what
Mhm.
I done did wrong or have not done wrong or what I was supposed to do that I didn't do, I try to stop and say, don't start that, girl. I really
Mhm.
talk to myself, don't start that mess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
it turns into self abuse. You
Yes.
do that
Mhm.
every day, every hour of the day, that when you do something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
you hone in on the negative.
Yeah.
How can you get better? You can't.
Right.
So you have to catch it when you start it and say, don't start that, girl,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
really digest that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now
Mm.
that is the beauty of self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I do is I start my day with music many days, and I also start with affirmations. So I am the affirmation queen.
Mm-hmm.
I command my day, and I start by reminding myself who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say automatically, I am amazing. That's one of my favorites because it speaks to the creative ability in me,
Very
right?
good.
So I
Mm-hmm.
say I am creative. I'm a finisher because there was a time when I would procrastinate. So I had to remind myself on a daily basis that I finish everything I start. Because if
Mm-hmm.
not, when you get to the end of the day and you haven't done this, it saps you of your energy. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. Like you said, you remember the things that you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it saps you of the energy. So I start my day with reminding myself who I am, that I am loved, I am lovable, I'm worthy of love, I'm
Mm-hmm.
more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just go down the list. I have a whole list, and it
Mm-hmm.
says
Mm-hmm.
AJH, that's my initials,
Mm-hmm.
affirmations. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I make sure I get all of them in there. And so
Mhm.
that's kind of how I start my day, just to give me the energy and the reminder of who I am. So during the
Mhm.
course of the day, I may also remind myself of some of those things if I need to.
Mhm.
Right. And give yourself grace. Like Don
Mhm.
said, give yourself grace. If you miss it, it's okay. Jump right back on there. Jump right
Mhm.
back on there. And I also love the music because the music sets the tone.
Mhm.
Right. If I'm going through, if
Mhm.
I'm doing something even working and I just feel like I'm dragging, I'll get my phone to put my phone right here and turn some music down low.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm feeling, ugh, I may put some Mariah Carey on all
Mhm.
I want,
Right.
whatever I
Mhm.
need to bring
Right.
myself up, right? Just to change the tempo, change the level of energy in the air,
Mhm.
right? Because you can very easily get caught in the
Mhm.
right. So if all I do is have 5 minutes, I'm going to change it just so
Mhm.
I have the energy I need and I'm not robbed of my creativity and my strength and my productivity
Good
because of
girl.
everything else that I can see going on.
Girl.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, inspirational music. I don't know if you guys have ever paid attention to this, but inspirational music are full of affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
They're full, and I think that's why it's so powerful
Mhm.
because you're singing and you're saying this positive
Mhm.
affirmations. You don't even realize that
Mhm.
you're speaking on your life,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
right? My favorite. This is my go to war song, if you know what I mean. When I got to go to war with
Yeah.
world
Mhm.
is William Murphy is working. I
Mm-hmm.
That's my go to work. I
Come
go
on.
to war.
Come
I go to war
Mm-hmm.
with that song because
come on.
it I know everything is working for me.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So when I hear that, I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
let me shake it off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yeah.
I tell people if they can find them a war song,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and when you need to shake it off, just put that thing on.
Yep.
I really have me a war playlist, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Me
got one
too.
of
Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too.
Mhm.
them.
But it helps. But you're speaking affirmations once you're singing, and you really are pouring into yourself.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Right.
whoever's listening to this, I want them to find a song that they can connect with the words, and you know that those words are speaking to your life
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
because it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be different songs for different people.
That's
Okay.
right.
um even jazz works for me
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mhm.
when I need to relax, and it has no words, but
Right.
I just notice how it takes my mental to a whole different place.
Mm-hmm.
I love me, I rocks with me, but it took me
Mm-hmm.
a lot of years to learn how to do
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
It took me a lot of years.
Yes.
So I just want to give a few tips for people who are dealing with seasonal affective disorder. This disorder is usually something that hits people and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it
Okay.
doesn't have to, it usually, it may have to do with grief, but it may have to do with the fact that we don't have enough light.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so our vitamin D is down.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of tips is there are lights that are mimicking daytime for people who need light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take your vitamin D if you're vitamin D deficient.
Please.
Yes. A quick tip that people don't want to like to walk. I don't like to walk. It's dark outside. Okay. Walk in place while you're looking at TV during the commercials.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Today on I saw a chair exercise where the lady was just doing
Mhm.
chair
Mm-hmm.
movements.
Hello.
Yes, just get moving
Mhm.
because the serotonin alone that your body naturally produces will
Yes.
help your mood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Food, eat fruit. And when I tell y'all, if you ever bitten into an orange and the refreshing feeling that you get when that thing, you be like, it's
This.
yes. There is something about fruit that wakes us up. If you
Okay.
pay attention to it wakes us up differently.
Mhm.
Okay. Herbal teas. Herbal teas are good.
Mhm.
Chamomile, especially because it helps you to relax. And
Absolutely.
any other tea that your grandma told you was good for you.
Mhm.
And try something new.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's painting, going skating, you don't want to break your neck, but trying something, anything new. Okay, that helps. Also, giving. Giving makes you, boy, when you give, you don't even worry about your problems anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about giving. It's like, okay, I've done something for somebody else. Okay.
Yep.
And also your feng shui in your house. If
Hmm.
people don't realize that the darkness in your house adds to depression.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a dark room and you sitting in that dark room all the time and you already dealing with
Mm.
a low mood, you got to get up out that room and get you some light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a real estate investor and a landlord, and I will go in and buy when in homes that I buy. I'll go in homes and they have all black rooms and dark blue. And I'm like, this house just feels
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
We just don't realize the impact.
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was great, Ladon, because you never think about this walking in place.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
walking in place. And one thing I read recently is there's so many body functions that are their function is increased when you walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So, and Tammy, you might could expand on this or say more on this, but I read an article that says if you're having kidney issues and you're doing the other stuff but not exercising and doing some type of movement, then the walking can help your kidney functions to increase. I never knew that until recently. And
Okay.
so sometimes that's what we need is to that walk that's helping our mental is also helping our physical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Understand that with the walking, and one of the things with walking is, number one, it's going to change the way you breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to change the way you breathe, but it's going to get your gut moving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you get your gut moving, as in you're getting that bowel movement moving, then that gets some of that sludge out of you, because please understand, and this is just strictly life, the longer that boo-boo, that poop stays inside of you, the harder and drier it gets, and it's harder for you to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it stops your body from absorbing good nutrients that it should, because it's already clogged up with stuff that you haven't gotten out of you. So when you're drinking your water and you're walking, you're helping to get that bowel moving so you can get that stuff out of you. If you need some help, get some help.
Mm-hmm.
Miralax, Benefiber, fruits, vegetables, things of that nature. But get that bowel moving, get that water in, and you'd be surprised how much that will make you feel so much better, because now your body can absorb the nutrients
Mm-hmm.
that you're eating. Absorb, even if you're taking vitamins every day, if you're taking them orally, your body, a lot of them are not absorbed straight out of the stomach. They
Mm-hmm.
need to get into the bowel itself to be
Mm-hmm.
absorbed into the body. But if that bowel is clogged up with stuff that you haven't let go of, with waste that you haven't gotten rid of, do yourself a favor. Number one, get that stuff out of there. If you got to take medication, start from the top and at the bottom if you have to, as
Mm-hmm.
in suppositories, laxative, suppositories, edibles, and so forth. But either way, get that bowel cleared out very well, then drinking and walking. And for some people, just like we just said, walk in place while you're watching commercials. Walk in place. I am a person that has to do chair exercises.
Mm-hmm.
And even with my chair exercises, I'm seeing a difference. I'm seeing a difference in the way I feel. You're releasing different endorphins
Mm-hmm.
as you are exercising. Your body is rewarding you while you are exercising. So do, and I I used to not be a big water drinker, but I'm learning to be a big water drinker, because it helps your body do what it's supposed to do. It establishes homeostasis so that your body can equalize stuff in what it should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys. And we haven't gotten off topic because this is some of the stressors that we have because our
Mm-hmm.
body is weighed down.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't enjoy your meal during a holiday because you got all the rest of that going on. And you can't
Oh,
enjoy your family because your stomach is hurting because something is going on. So we're still on
especially
topic is the point.
Thanksgiving, guys. Especially after Thanksgiving, those huge meat days. Make sure you get back in line. Okay, sorry.
Yes. That's
So can
okay.
I
No.
just let me just tell you, as Tammy was talking, and I just need to throw this out there, all I could see was the spiritual side of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
of the grief and the shame and the guilt and all of that stuff that we carry is clogged up in
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And we can enjoy life,
Mm-hmm.
the holidays, or anything else until we let all of that stuff go through.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
got to let it all go through and go out and let it go so that you can enjoy the holidays and the life that you're living, the life that you're
Yeah.
creating. Let that
Mm-hmm.
stuff go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
So, guys, our time is coming to an end. It's almost been an hour, which is still amazing to me. But before we end, I always like to have each person give their inspirational message, whatever it may be, as we close out this year. Not just Christmas, but this is our last session of the year for 2022. When we come back on the Lioness Den uh, live again, it will be 2023. And so, if each of you would give us a end of the year inspirational thought as we get ready to close. So, let's start with Miss Adrian.
So my end of the year thought would be for every woman who is watching, for you to know that you were created for purpose, on purpose, with many gifts and talents to fulfill your purpose. That everything you need to do, you are already equipped with it. You are well able to do everything that you see, everything that's been placed in your hands, everything that you need to do, you have been equipped to do it. Don't give up, don't back up, dig deeper and go forward. Create the life that you desire. You've got it, be happy about it, and enjoy. Create your own happiness. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you to be happy. You create those memories and your own happiness so that you're loving the life that you're living, not just existing, but loving your life. Have a happy new year and see you in 2023.
Yes.
Good evening. Here we go. Um, my inspirational thought is number one, you made it. You're here.
Yes.
You're still here. You're still in your right mind. Don't let anybody tell you how long to grieve whatever you need to grieve, but just let's do it so that you can still live. Try not to, if at all possible, to allow this thing to cripple you, but don't allow anyone to tell you how long your grief pattern should be. Don't let anybody say you should be over it. That's not you. But know that there is a peace that surpasses all understanding that can come, and that peace doesn't make you feel like it didn't happen, but it just keeps you stable. It just wraps itself around you like a
Yes.
blanket and helps to keep you stable while you're walking through the hard place. But one thing that I do want to say is congratulations, you made it. Welcome to 2023.
My inspirational word as we leave out of 2022 into 2023 is intentional gratefulness. Be intentional about how grateful you are of the things that you've learned, of the experiences that you've had, good, bad, or indifferent. We all know that it has led you to a higher self, right? So be intentional about being grateful. When you're feeling bad, you're feeling down, I bet you if you shout out 4 or 5 things that you're grateful for, you'll forget about what you were stressing about. So be intentional about your gratefulness. Make sure you remember from whence you've come so you can say, if I have came from that, I doggone sure can go here. So be intentional about your gratefulness so that 2023 can be a year of you. Okay? Y'all be blessed.
Yes.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, I think so. And so, my inspirational would be for everyone this year. It would be as you go into the new year, understand that you are a new person. And so, there's a scripture that says, "Old things have passed away, and behold, all things have become new." And so, as you move into this new year, understand that this is your opportunity to express the new you as much as you want to. And so anything that was in 2022 that you didn't like about you, write it down, put it on a piece of paper, and then ball it up and throw it in the trash because now you're a new person. And all those things that you didn't like, your goal this year in 2023, as we go into 2023, is to renounce all of those things and to accept all of the good, positive things that you want to be. Set yourself some boundaries and shut out all the negative voices. That is my inspirational thought to you today. As we all come back together here, ladies. Oh, I appreciate you all. This has been a wonderful, wonderful hour that I've spent with you. Thank you. Thank you for your support because every one of you have supported me so greatly throughout this year. And I can say everyone on here has supported me throughout more than this year because I think I've known all of you for more than a year at this point. Um, and so, thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting the Lioness Den. Thank you for being such great speakers at our first in person uh, Life Happens Survivor Series session. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have just supported me and held us up here at the Lioness Den more than people know. I can call you at any time. I know I'm going to get good advice, good prayer, and maybe a good smack on the hand if I need that. Yeah, so I definitely appreciate you all, guys. As we look towards 2023, I want you to take this thought with you also. What am I doing next year? What is my plan? What are my goals? What does my next year look like? And as you do that, we want to share with you that on January the 14th, our wonderful dream coach, Miss Adrienne Holloman, um, hosted by the Lions Den and the Lions Den, will be hosting our first in person vision board session. Now, understand that people think vision boards is just something to do. But once you come to a session that Miss Adrienne Holloman is having, you will understand it's not just something to do. This is actually a life changing event. And it was, I actually I took this session 2 years ago, Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And inside of my bedroom, I have a vision board because you think vision boards are something you do for just that year. But what Adrian taught me is it's an ongoing vision, it's an ongoing mission. And so the Lioness Den and what it has evolved into I can definitely say is a part of the training and the vision board session that I had with Miss Adrian, um, and a lot of other things that I'm working on and have accomplished is definitely from the session that we did 2 years ago because I have that board and then we did an update this year in January or February, and so the two boards have started to meld together and the whole vision is being built every time we have a session.
Wow.
And so, thank you, Adrian. But look, if you're watching this, there's a link below. Sign up. We're in the DMV area. Sign up and come and hear this awesome coach. She is definitely the truth. So understand, sometimes you meet people and they just want you to listen to them to make them feel bigger. But when I tell you she's the one who actually takes the time with each person to go through the vision and give them pointers on how to be successful, that's why she's the dream coach. It's not just a let me talk to you about no, it's a hey, oh, so you said you were going to do this. What is your plan? How do we get your plan moving? What can we do to get this moving, to get you in the right vein, to get you in the right headspace? So, with that being said, January the 14th, what am I doing next year? What is my goal? What is my vision? Why am I here? These are questions during the vision board session that you could get answered because we're going to dig deep. And it's not just about making a board, but it's about the vision that you have for your life.
Yes. Yes.
It's the vision you have for your life.
Yes.
So please, again, January the 14th. That was a long commercial, but it was very needful. And so,
Sure.
please, 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 join us on January the 14th. You really, really don't want to miss it. And we have a behind the scenes producer director. So before we end, I do want to say thank you to my partner in crime. Whenever I'm doing anything, she's always behind the scenes if she's not in front of the camera with me. Thank you, Ellie Wilson, for all of your help and support this year. You have you've been the wind beneath my wings.
Mhm.
I will say that a lot of people don't understand that, but you've been the wind beneath my wings. You have uh, helped to carry me on days when I said I was going to give up. So thank you so much. And I'm going to say this. Thank you to Pastor Andre Wilson, who believes in me and comes on and calls me and tells me I believe in what you're doing often. Thank you, sir. And I want to say thank you to Bishop Mark, who also has been a great supporter ever since this channel started. So thank you guys. Ebony, thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, we miss Ebony, don't we?
We miss
Ebony,
Yeah.
we miss
Ebony.
you.
Yeah.
Ebony, thank you so much. You have been that ride or die friend from, I could call you anytime and you like, what we doing, when we doing it. Thank you so much. I know that you couldn't be here today, but we thank you so much. And to everybody who's been a part of the Lioness Den over the last year, who's come on from the financial to the entrepreneurs, um, just everything has been so great this year. We appreciate you here at the Lioness Den, and we hope and pray that next year we see you in the same place with us as we come up with new ideas to move this train forward. Thank you again, and you guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye.